Look at that.
Happy after.
My skin's not yellow, dude.
You don't have jaundice anymore.
Don't have gangrene. All right. But I do have these marks right there. See that? From my CPAP machine, I changed the style of mask. That's an interesting topic. My other mask made my mustache grow straight up into my nose. So I'm like,
do you look like Darth Vader now?
So I shaved it off. Yeah. So now it like comes across right here and goes right up my nose. But it was wearing weird there, so now I had like a handkerchief, put it there, so my mouth, I look like I'm riding a motorcycle. My whole mouth. Anyways, what's up, you guys? This is Indie Game Business, and we are going to talk a little bit about Steam Spy, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't see us because I had to refresh. I'm having wonderful issues today as well. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we wanted to go over. Basically, like online tools developers can use. And the biggest one right now is Steam Spy, simply because all signs are pointing to the fact that Steam is trying to seriously hamstring Sergey and the free data coming out of Steam Spy in general. So it's one of those, if you want to use it, you better hurry up. Because I have a feeling that Steam is going to introduce some sort of premium pricing where you can get the data, like the NPD data that we used to get. I guess they still do that. I'm not 100% sure. But it's going to cost you money. And chances are it's going to cost more than indie devs want to pay. So while you can, grab Steam Spy. But that's just one of them we want to talk about. We got a few others to go over as well.
I don't see any links in the
to Steam Spy.
No.
In our sheet doc. They're right there up top.
On the top. Wait, you know what? We should just make another document. That one's getting off. Right there on the top.
Where it says July 12 show.
I see what you're doing. We're working from the bottom up.
Yeah, I was trying to move it around. Disregard us.
Thanks for telling me about it, dude.
Not a problem.
What is going on?
You're totally expecting. Ask anyone that works for me. You're totally expecting too much if you are, thinking that I'm going to keep you informed on things that I'm doing, because half the time I don't know what things I'm doing.
That's funny. That's funny. You know what? Before we go forward, I want to say one thing. I got my other computer hooked up and running. The reason we're a little bit late is my fault. We were having audio issues with some of my hardware right at the last minute. And so we hooked up the old, beautiful Blue Yeti. Once again, the old reliable. I swear to God, someone's like, I'll buy that from you. And I'm like, no way. This is like my go-to mic for everything. The plug's a little loose and everything. But, okay, so I got it fired up. I downloaded Conan, which of course is the game that I've been playing. Normally when I go to play Conan, you click on it and start it, and then it has to go through the whole loading stuff, right? And then the logos, and then it goes through this about a minute of this trailer. First, Conan was blah 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 blah, and it has to go for about a minute or a minute and a half, and it loads and loads and loads and loads, and so then I can click on it. With this new PC, bam, right in the middle of it, the logos, I just click on it and it loads, and then the trailer starts and I click on it and bam, it's loaded. Oh, it makes me so happy. I didn't think it was going to actually improve performance that much. But when I got in the game, it's like everything just goes and draws in. And how I had to play with my other computer, which is a good one, when you run up on a building that has been constructed, it draws in. It's like chug, chug, chug. Even when you get up to the building, half of the building's not drawn in, so your character does whatever. With this new PC, it just goes and it's drawn in, and I'm so ready to try it out. If I can get the stupid audio to work correctly, we'll see. Anyways, that was my little rant for the day. My little spiel.
Did you see the news that Conan Exiles is actually the biggest selling, most successful game that Funcom's ever done now?
Yeah, I did. That's awesome. And I think it's probably in part to the people that are doing role play in it.
Yeah.
If you go on Twitch and look at like who's streaming, there's like a top streamer, and then it's role play, and then somebody else, and role play. And a lot of the role play is from the specific server that I'm on, so I'm lucky to be on this.
So we we always talk about finding a niche, and that's what Funcom has done with Conan, especially, by enabling all the role-playing things you can do. There's a lot to be said for that.
And allowing mods. What they do is allow mods. So you can go on Steam, and then the Steam Workshop, and it's like, like Skyrim have all these mods. Well, there's RP mods on Steam for Conan, which like allows you to have all of the emotes and everything unlocked. And there's a couple of other cool. It's
it's worth a shout out and a congratulations to the folks at Funcom, because they've been around for a very long time. And I remember the days of them trying so hard to get Anarchy Online off the ground, before we had a free to play model. You had to, the game was like $60 or whatever it was, and they were giving out free copies in front of GDC back when it was in San Jose, and we're all looking around going, that's not a good sign. when you're handing out free copies of the game, especially back then in the early 2000s, it was like, oh,
that wasn't a good thing back then.
Yeah, this is bad. They're not going to be around much longer, but they have. I mean, they've completely, persevered and worked through everything, and congrats to them. That's awesome.
And the game's pretty awesome. I mean, even not RPing. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure if I'd play it not roleplay. And something just happened. There we go. Oh, and it's back. Something on my computer is connecting and reconnecting. And that was a dog fart.
No, it wasn't. No, she's snoring.
Oh. You like the look on your face, and you look over, you're like, what?
No. She's been outside, and she's come in to take a nap, and that's a snore.
Oh my! I like a dog. All right, so what do we got here? What do we want to talk about first? We want to talk about this news that's in the document here.
Yes. So
this July 21st to 22nd, hackathon conference in Moscow, right?
Yeah, so I got this morning. I got an email from the folks over at White Nights, which is a smaller conference. I mean, I went to the one in Prague last year, one, because I wanted to go, and two, because it was in Prague. And I was so tired, actually, because I had gone to the Casual Connect in Berlin, and then I took the train from Berlin over to Prague. And after 1 week of a conference, I was so exhausted that, I had 2 days in Prague to basically see the city before the show started, and I slept through half of one of the days because I was exhausted. But it's a gorgeous city. I mean, it's worth it if you're in the area.
That is one of the awesome things about, if you like have conferences back to back, but you have a little time, you get to go to a nice hotel, close the curtains, turn off the lights, and just freaking sleep. Get up, have food brought to you.
Well, and it was in Prague, which, the standard of living and the cost of living in the Czech Republic is substantially lower than here in the States, obviously. And so when I was, I stayed in the hotel. They had the conference actually in the hotel, so I didn't have to go anywhere. I just had to go downstairs and then come back up. But it was like, for an extra $20 a night, I got on the VIP level of the hotel, which had its own, like, food area. It was like a lounge area where, you could go and hang out, and they always had food and drinks and beer and coffee and all this stuff in there. And it was like, for $20 a night, yes, I will do that.
And it's like free food, right?
Oh yeah, it's it's absolutely. But White Nights is one of those. They're one of the smaller conferences, but they do a good show, especially for devs. And it's in, where are they? There's St. Petersburg, Russia, and Prague, and they do 3 a year. And so the one coming up for the Moscow conference is, in a few weeks. If you're going to go, obviously go, but it's short notice at this point. The reason I wanted to bring it up is because, they're having a game jam for blockchain games. And then they're also doing a online hackathon that any developer can join in. So it was one of those. We always talk about how good it is to go to, to do the game jams and to coordinate and network like that. So wanted to get it out there because it's one that's coming up very shortly.
I'm just not real sure about the name. White Knights. I mean, for one, that has just the term White Knights with a K has a bad connotation. And then the other thing, White Knights, like, is that racist or?
Well, it started because they were doing it in Moscow, and the time of year that they were doing it, it's pretty much night, 24 hours a day, and I think it's snow and everything else. So,
right. So it's a white.
That's where it came from. Yeah, because you hear it, especially if you're from the States, and you're like, is this like some kind of gathering that we should be aware of?
Crytek says he was at the Hilton in Prague too.
Yes, it was. Was that where it was? Was the Hilton? I can't remember which hotel it was.
The Hilton, Lovey.
It was one of the coolest things because I was like determined. When I finally woke up that day, I'm like, oh my god, I only have like half a day to go to Prague, and I didn't get to go to Europe's oldest brewery, which I wanted to go to very much badly. But I went over to Prague Castle, and it was freezing. And the wind was cutting through. The streets, and they talk about here in the States, it's like Chicago's the windy city because the wind cuts through all the buildings. Yeah, we'll try that in Europe where the roads are a lot tighter and it just becomes a hurricane. So I went through Prague Castle, saw lots of cool stuff, and it finally got to the point where I'm like, I got to get inside. So I see this little sign that I had no intention of, I hadn't seen it, no intention of going in there, and it was like the museum, and it cost an extra whatever, $5 or whatever to go in. And I went in and I was like, so what's in here? And they said, well, it's a lot of the collection of the ex-royalty that lived in the castle. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'm freezing, I'm gonna go in here. I took the audio tour. Turned out I was in there for like 3 hours because it was fascinating. I mean, they had the original handwritten scores from Mozart, because this guy had, this is the family that had basically funded Mozart. And so whenever you're able to do that, especially being from America, where our history goes back 200 years, when you can go somewhere and it's like, oh my God, that's the actual book that, Mozart wrote in, that's his handwriting when he's doing this stuff. It was really, really, really cool.
I love how we can just get you on a tangent.
I know, really.
All right, so that's GameNode.org. I just posted the link up there. The next thing is businessofindygames.com. It's an online conference we were just talking about. I'll post this in the chat. Still getting used to this. Mouse over borders. If you guys have multiple computers, mouse over borders is amazing. Where you can your mouse and keyboard over multiple. Here we go.
You can use it. It just doesn't work.
And you can copy and paste from one PC to the next. Pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's a Microsoft product. It's in the Microsoft Garage or something like that. Called Mouse Over Borders. Actually, you know what? Here, let me just it's a cool tool, so we might as well just talk about it. I mean, it's free. You do have to do a couple things. Mouse over borders. Not to totally just get us sidetracked, but
we never get sidetracked.
Right, that's it. Here we go. Mouse without borders. That's what it is. Without borders.
I need to put us on the screen in front of me so I'm not constantly looking over to the other side while we're doing this. So while you're digging that up, so we're starting to see more and more of, I don't know what we're going to call it, digital conferences.
Yeah.
Where they're online only, that's it. And so this is one that I came across a few weeks ago, and I signed up for it to see, what it's all about and what they're doing. But it's solely focused on the business of indie games, which is, of course, something that's near and dear to our heart. And And they've got a lot of really good speakers lined up. You know, Mike Wilson from Devolver is going to be there. You know, Mark Morris, who did, you know, who's an introversion. They did Prison Architect, Ninja Theory. There's a lot of really good folks that are giving talks. And so what it appears to be, because it hasn't started yet, now I don't know exactly what they're doing, is instead of standing up in front of a big old, you know, lecture hall and people flying all over the world, they've got, you know, YouTubed video lectures and talks and that sort of stuff. So that is very interesting, very cool. And it's free to sign up. You know, there is an option. Of course, there's like an upgrade because they have to make money too, where you can get immediate access to stuff, but you can actually, you know, register for the conference and hear all of these folks, you know, talk and their thoughts and all that sort of stuff for nothing. Absolutely.
I wonder if it's live or if it's pre-recorded.
It's pre-recorded because, like, I already have access to the lectures. So I don't know if they're going to do a live part or not.
So basically what it is it's just like our playlists with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
If they charge for it.
Well, no, they don't. I mean, you like I said,
if you want it right now, they charge.
If you want it right now, you know, if you want it, you can wait 2 weeks. Which, you know, why wouldn't you be able to wait 2 weeks? It's completely, absolutely free.
So basically, what you do is you get 24th through the 27th. You get access to all of that stuff for 24 hours each day to watch the sessions.
Yep. So, and here's that's not us. Pull us over here. Here's a link to, you know, who's actually going to be there.
Agenda.
And one of my old competitors, who I now consider, you know, a friend, Ed Deal's going to be there, and Ed runs Fog Studios, which is an agency for developers. And Ed's been doing this longer than I have, and you can see there on his stats, he's got 7,000 deals that he's done over the years, and I credit him because I've never had the patience to sit up and, you know, add up the ones that I've done over the years. But, you know, if people like Ed are involved, I'm in, you know, because Ed knows his stuff. You know, it's very good. And he's going to talk about how to, you know, plan and pitch deals and all that kind of good stuff. So it's very cool. It's something that I would highly recommend checking out because free.
Yeah, it's free.
You just can't beat free. So
free. All right. What were we talking about? I don't know how to pronounce this. Unoya?
I don't know how to pronounce it either. And I know Sebastian, and I just still don't know how to pronounce, you know, the name of it. But there's 2 sites like this that I know of. And it's this one, and then it is
Adopt My Game.
Adopt My Game. Can you pull those up?
Yep, I got them. I got it. I'm on it. There we go. You want me to pull them up to look at them on the screen, or just link them?
No. Pull it up so we can look at it on the screen.
Okay.
So we can dive into it head on. Or can you hear her in the background now snoring?
No. Okay, here we go. Rump. Here we go. That is not the right screen for some reason. I don't know why it's even showing that.
Because you probably got it on some other computer somewhere and you don't know where it is.
Here.
So while Indy's digging these things up, these sites allow you to post your game, post your company, and they act as a sort of business matchmaking system. And of course, you know, there's free versions of it, and then there's paid versions of it, but it's very cool. Let me go ahead and log into my.
I don't understand why it's doing. That's not even a window that I have open anymore.
Well, at least it's not porn. So, I can walk through, some of this stuff because, we've got, for the Powell Group, we've actually got an account there as well. But you can create a page for your. There we go.
That was just weird. And like the capture card. Oh yeah, what are you drinking today? What's the drink of the day?
So it is beer, but it's for a very good reason.
It is beer.
We live in the mountains, and so we don't have, city water or anything like that. All of our water comes from a cistern that's just up the, mountain from us, and they've had some sort of issue. So we're under a boil water notice. So for the last 3 or 4 days, if you want to use water for drinking or food preparation or anything like that, you got to boil it first.
So instead, you just use beer?
Yeah, well, that's what the monks did. That's why we have beer now.
Oh, I want to make noodles. Get the beer. Let me tap the keg.
I went upstairs to, get water, and we've got a tea kettle basically where we can fill it up and it boils the water for us, and then we just let it cool down and pour it into the Brita filter. But the Brita filter was empty, and I was like, I'll just get beer.
You should do that. So, boil some ramen in beer.
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, it can't hurt, some nice porter. Anyways,
that's what we've got.
What we got today? Okay.
All right. So, can you log in so we can go to, or maybe click on games and see what comes up?
All platforms. Rider the Deserter.
All right. So, let me pull it up on my screen too, so I can tell you what we're looking at. But this is the page that you can create, if you are a developer. And it outlines a whole lot of, it gives, and it's not meant for, players and things like that. This isn't a, new way to go in and get users or anything. It's for business. And so they have everything here that is included that you need to know if you're a publisher. You've got gameplay videos, you've got, the info in terms of the description, gameplay, unique selling points, and what they need. And then, you can put what we need is a publisher or funding, or, maybe if they just need marketing or what have you. But it's a very good tool for getting it out there. And so, I can come in as, I can't remember if I'm set up as a publisher or a developer, but I can come in and, review their page. I can request a game key. So, it's something that streamers can use. I can request an interview if I'm from the media, or I can actually just reach out to them directly and, initiate a conversation. So, it's a passive way of being able to upload your project and get it in front of a lot of the right people. And, it's not something where you have to spend hours a day, sending out emails and updating and, all of that sort of stuff. They've got, looks like about just under 100 publishers, that are on the site. And, you can see in your stream, mine will say, so-and-so is talking to a publisher, and it's a very good little networking system that they've got.
They have like jobs and service providers, marketplace offers.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And so the other one is Adopt My Game, which is, very similar, but they also include things like, events, what are they called? Trade organizations, like TIGA in the UK. They have their own page over on, Adopt My Game. And, it's a lot of the same type stuff. You can go up there, put your game up, get feedback on it, get your studio out in front of more publishers, because, one of the biggest requests that we have coming into our firm is from developers that say, hey, look, we need help getting, contract work or, that sort of stuff in place. And so these sites, oh, wow. Hold on a second.
What was that? Lightning?
No, hold on. There'll be another one in just about 6 seconds.
What is it?
Fighter jets doing low-level maneuvers.
Oh, I was like, what the heck is that? It sounds like a firefight.
We're in some sort of path, and it happens once, maybe twice a year. And it's funny because we had it just yesterday too. But you hear it coming, and then because we're up right at about 4,000 feet in the air on this mountain, they don't fly much higher than we are. I've stood on our top deck, and I could see the pilot in the F-15 as they were flying by, and so
wow.
It's very, very, very cool. And I got completely derailed. Where were we?
Adopt my game. Adopt my game.
Yeah. So, we talk about a lot of the legwork that goes into pitching your game to publishers and pitching your studio to publishers if you want contract work. But, these are very good passive ways of doing the same thing. It doesn't take nearly as much time to set up a page and then keep it updated, because you have to keep it updated. You have to, keep everything relevant. So, you're constantly showing that you're still alive, basically.
It's got events and stuff in here.
Mm-hmm.
I played a lot of these games right here from Casual Connect. Molecat, Alpha Beat Cancer. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Simulacra. I'm Son. Yes, that's cool.
So, these are things that I highly recommend, you looking into as a developer, because it just increases that footprint that you have and that, capability of being noticed out there.
And then when you want to get contacts, you can contact directly through the site, or you can link people to it, and it just is like, blam, all your info. Right?
Yep. Or I think some of them, they actually have their contact info listed.
Okay, so and there's also social media sharing.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet if I logged in or signed up, I'm actually going to get more.
Because even for you as a streamer,
right?
It's a good way to get everything out there and to find, what's new and what looks promising, in addition to sites like Keymailer.
Right, because I saw that you can request keys, contact project creators. That's really cool. And the business directory. I never looked at that, Oh, there's art, sound. Okay, nice. R&D, production, station.
There's no reason, sorry, had a bug. There's no reason for, a development team or, even, do they have for streamers? I don't even know. Websites, events, marketing, PR, influencer
Publishing,
management.
Content acquisition.
No, that's the guys that buy, that's the people that, work at the publishers
there we
to
go.
find.
Media, streamers. Oh, there we go. Oh, see the drastic measures on there?
I don't even see that one. Where?
That is under business directory media streamer.
This is hilarious. I don't even have a media option.
Oh, dude. Under business directory?
Yeah.
Under.
I'm looking at business directory.
On the right side.
I'm an idiot.
Don't look on the just left column, Jay. Look on the right column too.
It's not alphabetical.
It is not alphabetical. There's PR, social media.
There's a lot of good resources in here, and it'll connect you to a lot of good things. Gamasutra has a business directory as well. It doesn't go into, this level of detail though.
Is Powell Group in the business directory?
Yes, we are.
You ever thought of Powell Publishing? PP.
Yes.
Yes.
Very frequently. And then I'm like, I've been a publisher. I didn't really like that.
Right.
But it's, what are we under? We're under business development, licensing and IP, procurement, evaluation, and streamer, because I'm a streamer.
Okay, neat.
We're only level 1. I don't know why.
Got to level it up. Well, now that's going to bug you, because I know you don't like being level 1. You like to level things up.
No,
I wonder what
absolutely
the different levels
not.
mean.
I'll have to we've got a page, but apparently, I haven't done as much work on it as I need to. But I can fix that.
Preach it.
Yeah, exactly. Again, do as I say, not as I always do. So,
So I'm going to sign up for this too. The Adopt My Game? That looks interesting. I'm going to delve a little. Yeah.
So I believe we're on there as well. We are. But you can't. Theirs isn't. They don't have. I guess they're far enough along, because I've got a thing that says my profile isn't currently visible to other users in the website's current version. They just need you to fill it out for ID purposes. But I can reach out to developers and
So there's also pricing. Let me pull up the pricing on here. Unoya. I don't know.
Yeah, they just introduced that.
76 euros a month. And see who visited my game page and followed it. Unlimited pitching. Showcase. Visibility of your game. Top visibility. Complete social media package. And there is nothing wrong with monetizing. I mean,
no, it's not. It's $76, 76 euros a month. Less than $100 a month. It's not bad at all. I mean, that's a, even if you only need it for 3 or 4 months, that's well worth the price of admission. To get in there and to be looking around.
And I love how they make their answers short. What are the main benefits of the paid plan? You get all the answers to the questions: who saw my game, who liked it and followed it. Your project will be more visible to publishers, investors, and influencers. All the Unoi paying plan, get your project reviewed and benefit from coaching. Yep. Well, they would know, because they know what works best on their site. So they can give that feedback. Publishers and media are already here. Let's look at their Twitter. Bam. Twitter's not super huge, but it's this.
Yeah. Neither of these sites have done, to my knowledge anyway, a lot of press push to let people know that they're out there. There's a lot of stuff on like LinkedIn and places like that where the founders are going and talking about what they're doing, but it's not something that has been they're not hammering for developers. Both of them are in, both sites are in, early access or soft launch or whatever you want to call it.
What else we got here? That is of these links. Do we want to talk about Steam Spy now? Are you ready for that, or?
Yes, even though I can't get it to do what I wanted to do.
I will bring it up here. I am logged in as you, so.
Well, that'll make things easier.
That works.
So what I had wanted to do is sit down and, show you how you can go through and look for publishers that would be a good fit for your game. And so we can do that to an extent. There is if you go to companies over on the left, and then the first thing that pops down is summary. It's a massive spreadsheet, and it basically lists every developer and publisher. And so this is where you would go if you want to see, overall who's out there and who's doing what. Now, there are 18,000 some companies on here.
And so a lot of them are zero. A lot of them are just, but look at this. PUBG Corporation, 55,710,000. That's how many people own the game, right?
Yes. Estimated. Because obviously if it wasn't purchased through Steam or it's not connecting through Steam, it's more difficult to do. So if I'm a developer and I want to look and find a good publisher, I would be clicking on the published games tab. And so that's going to tell you, who has published the most games. It's an easier starting point than going in and looking at it from the, the users or the default of the alphabetical order, because
like who has the most. Okay, I'll do that. But before I do that, I just want to say, so many people are like, I can't make a game. I don't have the gear. I need to buy better equipment. That is not true. You don't have to be an expert. And let me tell you why. The number 2 company right here that has 32,150,000 average owners is from Smartly Dressed Games. And if you don't know who that is the kid that made the game Unturned all by himself when he was 15 years old. Unturned. And it has that many owners. That is insane. Have you ever played Unturned?
I haven't.
It is a really good game, and it's free to play. It's like a Super Square. It's not quite DayZ. I mean, it's zombies, and you have to play it. It's fun. Actually, really fun. The guy was 15 when he started development on it. Released it when he was 16. It says the release date is July 7th, 2017. But I think it was in early access before that. I have like the gold characters, and so if you don't think you can make a game, you can do it, and you can make a successful one. I wonder what this guy is doing now. He's not a kid anymore. I mean, obviously he's over 18, which to me is still a kid, but
well, I mean, it's the only game that he's got on.
I think that's the only thing he ever made.
Yeah, it's the only game he's got on Steam.
Free to play. I don't think it's monetized at all. I think he just made it because he wanted to make a game, and here you go. And people still play.
No,
it.
he's got a
he's got it monetized.
Gold upgrade for $5.
Yeah, I have that.
Permanently unlock several special bonuses such as premium servers, expanded character customization, and exclusive cosmetics and skins.
And there's different modes. There used to be just like a world that everyone dropped in, and you could go and run around together and kill zombies, and you could steal cars, and it's a pretty good game. I mean, okay, so I just wanted to talk about that because that is crazy. That's the number 2 game. The number 2 right here. It's going to take a second. Bam.
Oh, I was trying to figure out why it kept telling me my access is restricted because I'm not logged in.
This has this has like more than 50% of the users as PUBG. What is this game here? Moto Heroes and Generals. That's the next big game. And that game has half as many owners as Unturned.
But so here's where we get into the difference between owners and purchasers. It's got a lot of owners because it's free.
Right.
The question is how many, what's their conversion rate to, people that are actually paying.
It's so funny because Valve is number 4, but they have 33 total games. But they're still less than half the amount of the Unturned. Okay.
Yeah.
So published games. Let's go to that. Big Fish, of course. 264 games.
Which is interesting because for years and years and years they weren't on Steam because there was no real market for casual games on Steam.
Well, they don't have like it says 0 average owner. There's something on it.
Well, and it could, well, yeah, and a lot of the stuff in the database right now is in flux in the first place, with all the changes that Steam is making. But if you go and you can use the overall summary, company summary, or you can go in and click down to genres.
And where's that at?
It's on the left. And
okay. Genres.
And indie is number 4 on there.
Okay. Then what?
And that is going, give it a second to load. And that's going to pull up all of the games that have the indie tag in Steam. So, using the genres that they've got broken down there, and there's I believe there's not a summary of that. I thought there was a summary of that. But using those genres as a starting point is a good way to do that initial research that we always talk about in finding a publisher. Because, if your game is an RPG, you don't necessarily want a publisher who's never done an RPG.
Yeah, publisher that's doing a casual game. Your business manager knows the guy who made Eternity. He told me that this dude now has the money to not worry about his next. Oh, I would imagine.
See, and that's awesome. You've got folks like him. You got folks like the guy that did Stardew Valley. It took him 4 years, but he did it all on his own. And there's no telling how many copies that game has sold, across all the platforms now. It's not impossible to do, by yourself, or even with a small
and
team.
That guy that did Stardew Valley, he's like super interactive in the community.
Yeah, he is.
It's really what's his name? I've met him a couple times and we hung out.
Actually, I don't remember his actual name. I know the name of his company is Concerned Ape, but I'm not sure what the actual what his actual name is. I'm sure we can Google it.
Okay, so we have games released in indie genre. It didn't search through publishers.
No, it does it by, and there's a way, I believe, and you may have to be like the next level of Patreon to get access to it. But I know there is a way to pull the different publishers to do that. But again, a lot of this base information you can get for absolutely free. And, it's a resource that you really need to take advantage of before it goes away, basically.
And then Steam starts selling that.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, why would they not monetize it? They probably like, well, Steam Spy is doing amazing.
Well, it's just odd because Steam as a company works in such a non-traditional way that they could have been doing this for years and they haven't.
Nobody probably wanted to do it.
Yeah, and then Sergey takes off with Steam Spy, and now all of a sudden, you go over to his Patreon page, pull that up. And this is a part-time gig for Sergey. I mean, he's the publishing director over at Epic. But you go to the Patreon page and, Steam Spy for him is pulling in $11,000 a month, almost $12,000 a month.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's obviously a demand for it. And I think if I want to get really tinfoil hat here, I think it's something that Steam is cracking down on, not only so they can sell that information, but I'm willing to bet it's also a first step in getting purchased. I mean, there's plenty of companies that would love to own Steam, own Valve. And it would not shock me at all if this is part of a larger plan to actually get it acquired in the next year or so.
Crytex, thank you so much. I need to go because you need to prepare some stuff for a talk you hold tomorrow. Nice. Puzzles and games. How to make the player feel intelligent. It's better than making the player feel stupid, for sure. Did you guys make a list with all the tools you mentioned in the stream and put it in the video description? Yes, we certainly will. Yes. That's what I've been doing, is making a list of all of the stuff. The last videos from last week will be uploaded soon, since I got my computer back. So I'll be working on that over the next couple of days. I do have an upload schedule that I'm going to start adhering to for the stream. The way that my schedule has changed, so I haven't told you about it yet, Jay. But be like, don't worry,
my schedule is going to change too, and I haven't told you about it yet either. So we're all on the same page.
What?
Yes.
What, you get another job?
No, my wife did. And
so she did. Nice.
When school starts again, I'm going to be in charge of picking up Mini-Me, you know, in the afternoon. So that's going to make a 3:30, even a 2 o'clock. Even the current times on our shows are going to need to be augmented.
We have to bump them up earlier
or later, one or the other. But anyway, that's not. We got like a month or so before that happens. So, Crytex, where are you giving your lecture?
Yes. Curious about that.
Yeah, I am too.
If he hasn't left yet.
If you haven't left, tell us where it is and how we can watch it, if we can watch it. And then, yeah, we can do all that other stuff. Wait patiently. Anyway, so what else do we want to jump through today? I know there's news floating around because I actually finally got all of our social media up and running properly again. And I've been sharing stuff left and right.
On Powell Group?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's just media.
Well, a lot of it's like queued out too, but
Vampire sells over 450 copies in 1 month after launch.
450,000.
450,000. That was a good game. I played a bit of it. It's different. Did you play it?
No, I've watched it, but I haven't played it yet.
Warner Brothers acquires mobile platform PlexChat, not to be confused with PlexStorm, to improve social features in its games.
Crytex says the small meetup and the language is in German.
Ah,
you're right. It wouldn't do me any good, Crytex.
PlexStorm was the. I wonder if it's even still. PlexStorm was the 18 plus streaming platform thing.
I don't know that one. I guess adults only content.
Yes. I don't even know if it's. Oh, yeah, it's still going.
Let me log into my other one. Hey, Candonian.
Hey, Candonian, what's up?
You're welcome, Crytex. Hey, subscribe if you haven't already so we can see our little zombie run across the screen.
Yeah, do that. And what's up? Oh, yeah, and check it out. It's Candonian, thank you. Thank you. Here's the look at this. Bam bam, I'm gonna put the emote up.
So I had another, just talking about the evolution of our industry. I talked to the head of a publisher over in Europe this morning who I've known for many years. And without going into who it is, because I don't know how much of this is public knowledge and how much of it isn't, they have a very unique system now for their game. The publisher itself is fairly new, but it's a part of this gigantic multinational corporation that owns all kinds of stuff. One of the things that they own are several of the agencies for streamers. So when they have a game come in that they're evaluating, or even a game design that they're looking to farm out and have somebody to create it, they run all of the incoming games as well as the ideas by the streamers that are working with the agencies that they already own. So it's a brilliant take on, and it shows you a little bit about how influential the streaming community has become, because for years we've been seeing that shift from traditional press over to streaming, and how this is how games are discovered now. And so here's this company that is instead of bringing it internally, and it is sort of internally, and reviewing these games and saying, okay, we think this might be viable, we think this might not, part of that input loop now is coming from a very, they said they have 600 and some streamers under their umbrella, and they're able to give feedback, but it also it tells the publisher which games streamers are most interested in playing, the ones that they think are viable. And it also engages the streamers very early on. So, they don't sit down and they mandate that their streamers play these games when they get launched. But obviously there's a bigger correlation and possibility of it getting streamed by more influencers if they're already interested in it and they've already been engaged early on in the process. And I thought that was a very interesting evolution of how things are going.
Because the streamers kind of feel like they have a little bit of inside scoop on it. Huh?
Yeah, they've got some ownership, in this sort of stuff.
Inside scoop.
So
that makes sense, cool, because I've always done that with a lot of different indie games. They will hook me up with early access. I get it all the time. Hey, you want to check out our game before it's released? Sure, I'll have a look at it. And then some of them are amazing, some of them are not amazing. And like some of the games, they'll be like, oh, well, we're going to make you some content in the game. So I have codes for example, right here, Edge of Space. Which, have you ever played Edge of Space?
Yeah, we talked about it. I haven't played it, but we talked about it the other day.
Yeah, where they would make like little an indie ogre themed outfit for the character to wear and stuff like that. So that is something that developers can do fairly cheaply. You're not going and creating a whole new level. If you're creating art that's going to go on a character, it's much easier to do, and it gives a big incentive for the streamers to say and play that game. It's little things like that along the way that can make a big difference in whether you're being picked up and streamed by some of the bigger names or you're not. Because anytime you give somebody that feeling of ownership and that their opinion really matters, and you want them to feel like invested in you, that kind of relationship is going to pay dividends. And so that's brilliant that we're seeing companies do that these days. I think it's a good idea, because that's like the number one that's the market right there. That is like instead of doing a blanket test of, here, let's let 5,000 people play the game or whatever, 100 people and see who likes it, going directly to the people that are making the content that everybody is like, oh, this person's playing this game, it looks awesome. That makes a lot of good sense.
And I just now noticed that when you did this, I haven't been paying attention, obviously, that when you zoom in on us, it has like our own Twitch and Twitter channels on there.
Yeah, see, look, wait, there's you.
Look at that.
There's you. Then we can go zip like that. See how like mine draws in and then it pops out. Then yours, like if we go from here, yours. Okay, so here's the main. When yours comes in, zip, it doesn't come in, the other screen goes out. So when mine switches to my screen slides in. So we can do this, and it's just me sliding in and out on top of you.
No offense, Andy, but I really don't want you sliding in and out around me. Okay, that's
I broke it. There we go.
All right, so I just threw another link up. Did we talk about this? I don't think we did. The breakdown of the impact that the Steam sale had on the European charts. So GSD is, like the MPD of Europe, basically, but they cover, Europe, Middle East, the EMEA territory, which is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And they have an article, outlining how the rankings and everything changed for a lot of these games because of the Steam Summer Sale. GTA 5, which is still selling ridiculously good at $60, they sold it for like $20 during the Steam sale, and it jumped up 131 places on.
It's because of the RP. That's why.
Well, I mean, and they've continued to support it with ongoing. They've had their issues too, with people, duping the shark cards and all that sort of good stuff. But you look at the effect that some of these sales had on everything, and one thing to keep in mind is all of these big ones that have jumped are all major franchises from major
Crash Bandicoot, FIFA, The Crew, Grand Theft Auto, Dark Souls 3.
Look at the publisher. All of them are big publishers. And this is the advantage of having a big publisher behind you, is you get this kind of promotion. But, it's Rockstar, Ubi, EA, Activision, Bandai Namco.
Yeah, there isn't.
Well, Focus Home is in there, and they're a small, mid-sized publisher. But Spin Tires has been a fantastic game for them.
Did you ever play that?
I briefly, but it was a while back. I haven't played it. I didn't put a ton of time into it.
But that's with the devs, and I got to play. It was like when it had one level and a couple different vehicles, and it was still super fun.
But that's the only that's not the only company that's on there that's not like a major publisher. And every game, well, Paradox is in there. Yeah, City Skylines.
But Paradox is still.
Well, they are, but they're not.
I mean, it's no Rockstar or Warner Bros. But
exactly, they're what we call a mid-tier publisher, because they're not EA, Activision, Ubi, Square, Warner Brothers. It's interesting, actually, that Warner Brothers.
As you scroll down and look at the other graphics too, like the combined top 200 with platform, it's all mega publishers.
Yep.
Interesting.
So it's just an interesting, look into what's selling.
It says not all digital figures are in here, as only a selection of publishers share numbers. Well, that's why participating companies are Activision Blizzard, Bandai Namco, Capcom, Codemasters, that which I don't know, EA, Focus, Koch Media, Microsoft, Milestone, Paradox, Sega, Phoenix, Take-Two, Ubisoft, and Warner Bros. So it's really not a big list of a bunch of different publishers. But eight of the top 20 were PS4 titles, while Xbox One accounted for just 2 of the best-selling physical games. I didn't mean to totally just slam your theory down, but...
No, but I mean, even with those companies being the ones that are in there, yeah, it makes a difference, but it doesn't make that. Those are the companies that are going to be there anyway.
Right.
They're the ones that have the broadest reach. They're the ones that have the deepest pockets, for getting their games.
They're the ones that can put ads on cable TV.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, we would all love to have that data. I mean, it's a lot of people don't realize how hard that data is to get.
Right.
And you don't have a lot of companies that are going to, and I think this is partly what's going on with Steam and Steam Spy. A lot of companies don't want to share that information. And even if they do want to share it, we live in such a data dependent world right now where data is worth a lot of money. Their thought is, why would I give this to you for free? If you want to know how many copies that we're selling, because they know that those companies are going to, turn around and sell that knowledge anyway.
Right.
You need to pay us for it. It's like what we talked about yesterday with the ESA. The ESA says, crunch doesn't exist anymore. It's bullshit. It does.
Of course it does.
But the ESA is basically looking out for its member companies, and indie devs and small and even mid-tier publishers aren't a part of that. So, if somebody is going to go and gather all of this data, it used to be a whole lot easier. NPD would pull all of this, GameStop would give them their sales chart. Literally every retailer back in the day would, except Walmart. And, they had enough algorithms to figure out roughly what Walmart sold, so they would, approximate it. So now to do that, you not only have to get that data from the retailers, but you also have to get that data from, a lot of digital sources. And whether you go to the publisher or you go to the store, it's still a lot of legwork and a lot of, approvals that you got to have along the way.
Right.
So it's very difficult, basically.
Okay. Very difficult. But you know what? Why not sell the numbers? You got them. People need them.
Oh. So now I'm going and finding all these articles that I probably should have updated in the sheet in the first place that we go from.
That's okay.
This is a big one. Tencent wants to take WeGame worldwide. WeGame is the PC marketplace, the Steam of China. And they want to bring that and launch it outside of China. And when we look at companies that could feasibly compete with Steam, Tencent's solidly in that, number. I mean,
Tencent's pretty small.
Yeah.
I mean, they have got movie studios. I mean, they have everything, really.
Well, I mean, they own pieces of Epic and pieces of Bluehole, among other, publishers. Oh, wait, here's a list in there. Tencent has invested or acquired firms such as Riot, Epic, Activision, Ubisoft, and more. So they've got a very powerful hold in the industry. And so if, I hope they do take WeGame. I mean, the more competition we have out there, in terms of these online stores, it not only, forces some competition between the stores, because, right now Steam can sit back and do whatever they want, truly, because no one's touching them.
Right.
Amazon is trying for years, but they haven't been able to make a dent in it. But if somebody like WeGame comes in, one, it's more options for developers in terms of, places you can sell your game. But, competition is always healthy, so it's something that I've been watching, and I am very interested to see, how they go. Because if you notice, they only have 220 games on their system. So a lot of the overcrowding that we were talking about yesterday,
right, won't be there. It'll be more curated.
Exactly.
That'll be interesting. I'd like to see what happens. Steam is a power horse. Powerhouse, power horse.
So what else we got?
Well, let's old social media bank. We talked about the Love Indie campaign the other day.
Yep. I still haven't heard back from them. So I reached out to see if there was something we could do to help, and I got nada. Nothing.
We can tell everyone that we have major playlists that you can go through that talk about marketing, business development, all kinds of things that are in the YouTube channel. So the link is down below. Also, we got social medias. Here, let me post the Twitter. You can get Dopey Donut, what up? There's some Twitter right there, some Twitter love. You follow Jay, you follow me, and you can follow the Powell Group. Let's get it? What does that mean? Let's get it. You know what a skedit means?
I'm Googling.
It means let's get it. Like, let's go.
All you crazy kids in your slang and internet.
Let's go, daddy. Go, daddy.
All right. So the other thing that, I'm very interested in getting everybody's feedback on, we've been having guests come on, like, Nicholas and Demetria the other week talking about marketing, and then Heine was on talking about his Discord and the things that he's doing outside of his real job for the indie community. And then next week we're going to have Heather, who was at Epic and was senior producer on both the Save the World and Battle Royale versions of Fortnite. We want to hear what other kinds of guests that you'd like to have, because I'm looking at, having some publishers come on and give a big rundown on, their role in the industry now and what they're looking for when they find games. I mean, do we want more, streamers coming in? Send me a note, send us a message here on Twitch or drop me an email or, Twitter or whatever.
Are we excited for Elder Scrolls 6? Is Elder Scrolls 6 going to have multiplayer? Will they be able to have?
Elder Scrolls 6 is like at least 2 years away.
Will they be able to have 100 people on the server? If so, then yes, I'm excited.
I'm not getting excited yet. I know I'm going to play it. I'm going to buy it one way or another when it comes out, but it's so far out there that
it's not even worth thinking about.
I'm not even worried about it right now.
So many things are going to happen between now and then.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more excited about Fallout 76 right now.
Get it? Fallout 76, yeah, I'm excited to see. What kind of RP servers are going to be in that?
Well, we can make our own. We can have
our own RP server?
Indie and the indie games business, Fallout 76 server.
That is a lot of work to run an RP server. That is almost a full-time job.
I was going to let you do that.
No. I don't want to run a server. That's way too much work and technical issues, updating. That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
There's the link to our Discord where you can always find us. Well, I'll say most always find me. I'm always there. It's usually a good idea to ping and tag me in there, so I'm actually paying attention.
Or message him directly. That's much more effective. When I get pinged in a server, chances are I'm not going to see a direct message. Yes.
Very true. It's definitely, as I've signed on to more and more servers, it's like, oh, it's a lot of work to stay up to date with all of this.
Yes, it is.
So that's the rundown from me today, Andy. Have you got?
No, that's it for me too, as well. I'm sure there'll be more news next week. Plus, we have what's her name, Heather.
Heather's going to be here. She's coming back from vacation shortly, and so I'll be able to get up with her. And it's on the schedule down below the stream, so you can click that, and it will let you remind you to
the events
to do it.
Good. You can also sub and get the awesome I Love Indie Games.
Yeah, and just follow. We're close to 200 followers now.
Pretty fast. Quick.
I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Go for that 1K.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Then I guess that's it for us. Then
that's it for today.
All right.
And if you've got questions along the lines, reach out to us. We're always happy to help.
Always happy to help. Peace out, everybody.